Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you'll stick around to see our homeschool journey. My name is Jamie and I'm a homeschool mama of 3 boys. They are 7, 6, and 17 months old. I'm a former public school educator where I taught grades kindergarten, 2nd, and 3rd before I decided to stay home and teach my kiddos. In today's video, I want to share with you what I'm going to be teaching next week. So today I know is Monday and it's Labor Day, so we didn't go to school today because it was Labor Day and I always take off. So this week we'll have a 4-day week, and what I'm going to do is just flip over the camera and I'm going to show you what I'm planning on teaching during these 4 days. So the first thing I'm going to show you is reading. This week for our reading, I do reading with both my boys together, and we are going to be focusing on the book, The Invisible Boy. And we are going to be talking about making connections with the text, doing text-to-text connections, like saying this book reminds me of another book I read. Text to self, this book reminds me of this time when I felt invisible or sad. And then text to the world, how can they relate this book to something that's happening in the world? So that's what we're going to be focusing on this week, is making connections. On Monday we're going to read The Invisible Boy, and we're going to do a little activity in our journals that looks like this. I can dive deep into the text to make a connection, so they're going to have to make a connection and then write about it. So that will be Tuesdays. On Wednesday we will read the book again, and they will do some question cards that go with the book. And these are just different questions. Like this one says, discuss the difference in Brian once he met Justin. Look at the first 2 pages of illustrations. What do you notice about the coloring the illustrator used? So that'll be Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're also going to do a craft with this book on Wednesday, but I haven't printed it out yet. I totally forgot. On Thursday we are just going to finish up that craft, because I do like to keep this activity in about a 15-20 minute time range, and I don't think we can finish the craft on Wednesday. So Thursday all we'll do is finish the craft. The boys can share the crafts with me and one another, and then Friday they'll take a little comprehension quiz that has to do with the craft, and it looks like this. We will also on Thursday read this little nonfiction passage. There's a little boy that the Invisible Boy meets. His name is Justin, and he becomes friends with Justin, and he is Korean, and it talks about the food that he eats. So we're going to do this little activity and watch this little YouTube video on Thursday as well. Most of my posters are already up for the week, but I will show you a few that I haven't put up yet. It says dive deep into the text and make meaningful connections. Really to connect, help me understand the text. And shallow connections, or they didn't really involve me thinking. Like a good one would be if my boy said, he's a boy, I'm a boy. That required no thinking. I wanted to dig deeper. I felt the way that character felt when. I just wanted to dig deeper into the text. So that is everything we are doing in reading this week. The next thing I'm going to show you is writing, because it does go along with our reading. So we are going to do complete sentences, but all the activities will revolve around this story. So we are going to focus on learning about complete sentences. So on Tuesday I will show them this little poster. And on Tuesday we will also do this little sword. So we'll read the sentences and we'll either put it on the complete side or the incomplete side. Like this one says, at lunch, Madison and I. That's all it says. Well, that's incomplete. Madison and you did what? On Wednesday, sorry I keep saying that. On Wednesday, we will do this, which is, again, it's incomplete and complete sentences, and it's another little sort, and they'll put it in their notebook. On Thursday, they'll do an activity where they walk around the room, and they will use these cards and decide if it's right, yes or no, correct or not complete or not complete. So they love these, write the rubes. I just post these all around my room, and then they have to go find the card and do it. So that'll be Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to do this. They're going to have to create a sentence about the characters in the book, and just for each character in the book they have to create their own sentence. And that'll be their writing for the week. So the next thing I'm going to show you is their independent subjects, things that I do with them. It'll be their reading, their spelling, their phonics, and all of that. They also do Head Sprout, which is on the computer. I want to do a video for Head Sprout soon, and Raz Reading, because that's what I purchased for them. It's all on the computer and they really enjoy it. So they'll also be doing a lesson in that every day. So I'm going to start with my oldest. He's in 2nd grade, and I want to start with what he's going to be doing this week. So the first thing I'll show you is his spelling. He'll have new spelling words this week, and he'll be doing the ND and ST ending sounds, like fast and and he'll just work his way through these spelling activities, and then he'll take a spelling test. I'll also show you the next little thing he does. It's a little practice. It is writing related, but it is just a little practice sheet. So like Monday, he'll talk about this. We're learning about first, next, then, last. Tuesday, he'll finish this. Oh, no school on Monday, silly. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he'll name the story, give it a title. And Friday, he'll work on that same thing, reading the stories and figuring out what's the best title for it. And then in math, for the week, Tuesday, he is still learning about centimeters and meters and using a centimeter ruler. So he will do this lesson on Tuesday. He'll do this lesson on Wednesday. And then he'll go into counting in place value. And on Thursday, he will do the first lesson, which he accidentally did this the other day, but he'll do this lesson where he talks about making tens on Thursday. And then on Friday, he will do counting on and counting up with tens. We are going to be working on lesson 42, and I'll go ahead and show you that. So I did give him phonics assessment, and it started him here, which is the long A sound and vowel consonant E words. And we will be working through these activities throughout the week. We will be looking at picture cards and doing the sounds. He'll be sorting between short vowels and long vowel sounds and reading the words. He'll be creating his own long vowel. So I would say make the word cape, and he would have to make cape. Make the word skate, and he would have to make skate. He'll be practicing fluency. This is just a letter work map where he'll be building those words. And then his book for the week will be this book. He'll have to read this to me, which will work on the long A sound. And we'll do all of these activities throughout the week for phonics. Okay. And then his Head Sprout puts him on lesson 64, so he'll do, and that's all online. I really want to show that to you guys soon and do a video on Head Sprout, but he'll do lesson 64, 65, 66, and 67. And that is all that we will do for my oldest. Now I'll show you my first grader and his assignments. So we'll start with phonics because I have it right here. So he's working on his sound, and we started this last week. You can see his little activities are already there. I already read this book to him. So during the week, this week, things we'll work on is he'll read this book to me. It will go over the N sound, which we've already done, the app word family, which we've done this year, and then it'll focus on the sound. He will also make words. He will be working on his app word family some more and his an word family some more and making words. What we do with this is I like to play a game with this. And he'll have to practice finding the words and creating the words. Those are his sight words for the week. And then he already did this activity. He'll do this where he has to match the sounds. He will also be working on fluency and reading these words to me. And that's his work map for when we build the letters. They like to give them work maps. And sometimes we don't use these letters. I'll pull out magnetic letters. They really like to use magnetic letters, so sometimes I'll pull those out and let them just do with magnetic letters. So that is his phonics for the week. And I get all of this from Reading A to Z. I get it actually through Raz Plus, which is, I get Reading A to Z with Raz Plus. And that's where I get the head sprout. I get a lot of stuff with that. I have done a little bit of a video on my Raz Plus, but I want to really break it down and do one on, and I've done a video on my Phonics, which I can leave linked below, but I really want to do one on the head sprout as well. So my first grader's math for the week is he is focusing on number sense still and working within 10 and adding. So he will start with lesson 19. He'll do 19 on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, this on Thursday, and then this on Friday. And his spelling, he is still working on his sounds. So we will work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oops. And his writing, he's also working on first, next, last, so he'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, and this is just beginning, middle, and end, and it has little pictures over there of what would come first. So Tuesday, Wednesday, same thing here, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm sorry. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. And this, he has to draw pictures in order and then make up a sentence or two about his pictures in the correct order. So that is all of their work individually. The next thing I'm going to show you is my Toddler's Tot School. I don't have a lot of it out. I do have a few of the books that I'll show you that I'm going to be using with him for Tot School, but I'm mainly going to do one activity a day. So we're working on color red, and the reason I'm doing color red is because next week I'm doing apples, so I thought it kind of led into one another. So this week we're doing color red. This day he's going to play with Play-Doh, and I have strawberries for a snack. Color red on Wednesday, I have color red. I have a book that goes with this, which I will pull and show you, but we're going to do paint with a bag. Like we put the bag in there and put red paint in there. I've done this activity before. So he'll paint with the bag, color red. His activity is apples. His snack is apples. And I'll pull the book in a second. This day, still color red. Our activity is red noodles, which I use with my 4th of July. So he'll do the red noodles. And then for his snack that day, I have red Jell-O, which I know is not that healthy, but that's what we're having. He loves to play with the Jell-O. He likes to squish it in his hands. It's just another sensory thing. So I'm going to be doing that. And then Friday, we'll do the color red. Well, he'll have red toys. I have collected a bunch of red toys, and we will be doing those together and playing with those and talking about all the toys in the toy bin that's going to be red. And then his snack that day is going to be strawberries again, because I just, for some reason, could not think of a lot of snacks that he likes that are red. And now I'll show you the color books that I have for him picked out. So the books I'm doing with him is the Usborne. I am a consultant for this, and I can leave my link down below, but we're going to be doing the Big Book of Colors. And for this day, we will just be focusing on this one page. Talks about red. I'll read all the words with him. We'll point and we'll just talk about it. For Tuesday, I'm doing 10 apples up on top. I'm planning on using this book again next week, but since our snack is apples today, I thought we would look at this book. He probably won't sit through the whole book and let me read it, but if I can count the apples with him, or we can talk about animals, I just like to look with him every day with books. On Wednesday, we are doing the Usborne Lift the Flap colors. And I'm just going to go through and just do the red ones. I'll probably will review blue because we've learned about blue. But I mainly just want to go through and just do some of this book with him. And we'll look for the red fish, if we can find the red fish, and see if we can match them. It's just something to do with him, and we can talk about colors, and it can introduce other colors as well. But this one has a lot of red throughout the book. And then on Friday, we're just going to do this little red book. Again, it's mainly just got words in it, and it just talks about the color red. Just something for us to pull out and talk about words with him. So that is my Tot School for the week. Now I'm going to go into my loop schedule and show you our loops for the week. So for science, we are going to be doing science twice this week, and we're going to be continuing to work on our the second chapter in the book. We've already read the very beginning, so I'm going to continue reading with them the stories of the spine. We are going to go over I like to go over the glossary words for that week, there was 2 glossary words that week. We are going to be doing skeleton. I actually go ahead and type it up for them, and then we just cut it out and I let them glue it in their glossary because it's a lot of writing for them. They are young. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling in our little worksheets. Again, they are young, so what I do is we cut this out, and then they fill in the blanks for the notes as I read the sections to them and as we learn the information. So those are some things that we're going to be doing throughout the 2 days that we're doing it. We're going to be filling out all that information, finishing our story. We'll be reading in the encyclopedia, and then on Friday, that's our last day of doing it, we're going to do this fun little activity where we use mini marshmallows and toothpicks, and we're going to make a support system. So I thought they would like to do that, and it would be a really good STEM activity to see if they can make it a tower and let the marshmallows support the toothpicks and the toothpicks support the marshmallows. And we're just going to talk about how it's the same for our human body. Our skeleton gives us the stability and the strength that we need to stand. So that are the little activities we're going to be doing in Sassafras this week. In Spanish, since I go ahead and have that book out, we're just going to be singing our songs that I got off YouTube. And then we'll just continue doing the Count the Cookies and our favorite number for our worksheet. We'll be doing Spanish once this week. For nature, we're going to be doing nature poetry. We're going to be reading some different poems in here. Let's see if I can pull the pages 104 to 107. And we're going to be doing this twice this week as well. So we will be reading 104, 105, 106, 107, 8, 109, 10, and 11. My boys love to read this book, so we're going to be reading this week. We will be doing chapter 9 in here. And then in our book here, we'll be reading chapters 3 through 5. And they like this book a lot with the little kids, and they get these wild animals that they find, and they take care of them until they're able to be released back into the wild. They really like this book. They asked me to read more the other day. We'll also be doing our nature journals. I can't show you those right now because they're still in the car from where we went nature hiking this weekend. We took our nature journals with us. They left them in the car, but we'll just be doing some more of the worksheets in those by taking little nature hikes. So that is all of our nature. I'll show you our art, our history, and our music. For art this week, we are going to go on to the next lesson, which means we are going to do paint, and we're going to paint the Starry Night over the Rhone and try to paint that to go with his Vincent van Gogh Starry Night. We're also going to be studying the Starry Night painting this week and talking about it, and we'll be doing our little flip book that we have been working on. And we'll just move on to the next one, which is Starry Night. So we're working here. We'll just do the next part, which is the Starry Night. We'll fill in the information about it. And then our puzzle is actually the Starry Night too, so the kids will get that and they'll get to build the puzzle and then put their puzzle pieces in here. And then we're actually going to try painting the Starry Night this week. So we'll see how that goes. So that's what we're doing in art. In history, we are still doing ancient Egypt. And I'm just continuing through with our books. So what we are going to do for ancient Egypt is we are going to finish the Gallery of Rulers. I'm hoping we can get this book finished this week. We have 2 more rulers. And then I want to go ahead and get them the next activity where we're going to make these little Minarage of Gods. We're going to make this little booklet. And then if I have time, we're going to do the Where's My Mummy craft. We'll make the mummy and talk about mummification. And we're just going to continue working our way through this book of ancient Egypt. They really like all these little activities that's in here. So we're going to continue that for this week. So that is history. In music, we have been doing Bop, and we're going to continue. So we're going to fill out this little fact sheet about him, his home country, his life, and his favorite famous compositions, a portrait of him, and then my favorite composition. And then every time we listen to one of his songs or compositions, whatever you want to call them, and we do a little activity with them. So this week, the one that we are going to do is we are going to do this one where we actually listen and try to find the instruments that you can hear in his song. And that will finish up, I think that'll finish up his activities, but I need to double check that in my teacher guide. We might have a few more we have to do on him. But we have been working very hard at getting him finished so we can go to a new one. Now for geography, and that is the last thing, so let me go get my geography stuff. For geography this week, we just finished learning about Betsy Ross and the American flag. Now we're moving on to the Statue of Liberty. So I have this little book I'm going to read to them. It's a little quick read. We will start reading this book, and we'll just read this like at lunch and breakfast and whenever we have time. My 6-year-old loves the Statue of Liberty. He can tell you exactly where it's at. He can tell you everything about the Statue of Liberty. He's obsessed. He wants to go visit it. We were supposed to go for his birthday, but then everything that happened this year, we didn't feel like it was a good time to go into New York City, so we decided that we would maybe try to go another time. And we're also going to look at this poetry in this book. And it does have something here about September 12th. I am planning on Friday letting my boys know a little bit about September 11th. We did study it last year. They do kind of have an idea of what September 11th is. So I do want to read this poem with them on the 12th and just talk to them more. I'll read this poem to them on the 11th, but it was talking about the day after. But I really want them, we'll talk about it more, and we will stop and do a remembrance on Friday for the 9/11. But we will be talking about this week, and we'll do this poetry. Just like I said, my 6-year-old, he just loves the Statue of Liberty. He's so interested in it, so I wanted to spend a whole week on it, or a whole loop time on it. And that is everything for this week. I am sorry if this video seemed a little disorganized. I know what I'm doing. It's just late and I am tired. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button to see more videos. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I post pictures of some of the activities that we do during the week. Thank you so much.